Hey everybody, what are y'all doing tonight? As you can see, I am sitting on my stoop, drinking my wine, enjoying the evening. I gotta look at this low key, they call it like some kind of kineologist thing, band or whatever for injuries because I fell on my ass outside the hairdresser and now I'm injured. So, but it's all good. Hey, Blue Honey, how are you? What's going on? What's going on with you? Oh my God, Pamela Lambert. Yeah, I hope I'm okay too. I need to go get an X-ray, but I gotta go out of town on Sunday, so I didn't have time to go to my doctor. But I hope I'm okay too, because it's really hard for me to sleep. I haven't been going to sleep till like 3 and 4 because I'm in so much pain. So, hey, honey. So, yeah. So, yeah. Injured as fuck. You're going to New Orleans? Oh, I just left New Orleans. Have so much fun. Hey, Lynn. How are you, honey? I'm sitting up. Yeah, I know. I'm sorry, too. I was walking into my hairdresser's, and he had, like, this wooden slat in front, and my foot got caught in the slat, and I went down, and he came out of there so quick. He came out of that salon so quick and was like, "Are you okay?" So, hey, Ebony, what's going on, girl? Sitting out here on the stoop, drinking wine. I plan on getting lit tea. I know. Thank you for sending the healing energy love. So I was thinking about the energy of the full moon this week, because the full moon energy really lasts. Oh, you're on your way to the show? Good luck. Good luck. Good luck. Yeah, I'm good. Girl, I fell. Not only, okay, so I fell and like hurt this arm. And then don't you know the next day, so my mother has this like steel fence that you pull the two sides of the fence together to close it, and then you have to put this stake in the ground to like lock it. Do you know I got the meat of my thigh caught in that steel fence? So I have on my right shoulder, I got this thing that I need to go get a X-ray on, and then on my left thigh, there's like a chunk of my thigh missing. So I was like, okay, Spirit, clearly I need to have several seats. Clearly I am doing too much as I am falling all around town and getting my leg jacked up. I know, exactly. It's crazy, Ebony. I was telling them that I'm in so much pain I can hardly sleep, but I went and got some Tylenol arthritis today, and I'm drinking my wine. So I'm gonna go to the doctor when I get back to New York. When I get back, I just didn't have time. You said, "Lord have mercy." Blue, whatever. You know what it is. You know what it is. But anyway, so I was thinking about a couple of things. One thing is I am going to Florida in 2 weeks because I'm keynoting at the Florida conference on sexual violence. And I haven't keynoted at a national conference before for a state coalition. And so this will probably be like the first time that I talk about experiencing sexual assault. And so I was thinking as I was in my house, it's so interesting how we feel so comfortable talking about our domestic violence experiences, but we're not. always comfortable talking about the sexual assault experiences because there's such a stigma still around that. And so, so I have my, my PowerPoint presentation that I turned into them. But then as I was upstairs, I was like, I don't know if I hope nobody watches this from the conference. But I was like, I don't know if I'm really going to talk about that. I kind of feel like I just need to meditate and see what the ancestors want me to talk about and what the people in the audience want me to talk about. Because I've been talking a lot about, and actually my CEO reminded me yesterday, I've been talking a lot about how we center trauma in this movement. And, we do this trauma-informed healing and, we come up with these catchphrases and people latch onto them and run with them. And it's just interesting how comfortable we are centering the instead of centering the healing. And I understand that we have to, if we're going to heal, we have to address the trauma, right? We have to do that. I get that. People need that. We need that. It's a part of the healing process, but to not get stuck there is where, that's the conversation I want to have. And that's where I want to take people in my talk. So, and then it's also Gemini season, which is like, ew. I am not a Gemini, but I have a Gemini moon. So this Gemini energy is making me feel like, what? It's, Gemini can be rambunctious. So it's making me feel quite rambunctious. And, and stepping out of comfort zone, hence shaving the head and all that stuff, I'm sure has to do with full moon in Sagittarius and it being Gemini season. So, and it's also interesting that this talk is happening during Gemini season. I didn't think about that because Gemini is all about information and they devour information and they transmit information. And they're pretty fearless most of the time. So it's interesting that this talk is happening during Gemini season. And I was thinking about that. What else was I thinking about? Oh, full moon in Sagittarius. And so, so we feel that energy of the full moon 2 weeks before and 2 weeks after. So even though the full moon just happened this week, folks might have started feeling funny like 2 weeks ago, and they will still be feeling that Sagittarius energy, that fire energy, for the next 2 weeks as well. So I would say for folks to really pay attention to, again, slowing down, like me falling on my arse. So pay attention to, I would say, your cars and also travel. I would say for those of us that are going to be traveling, that people might actually be on edge. Because one, it's Gemini season, and two, we've got the energy of Sagittarius, which can be quite fiery, which can be quite say what I have to say now and deal with the consequences later. So I would say if you're going to try to like shoot your shot with somebody, make sure you're not going to miss. Like you don't want to get yourself in battles that you're not going to win. So I would say think before you speak. What's going on? I'm good, thank you. So yeah, I would say definitely think before you speak, and before you go into battle, you want to make sure that you have all your ducks in a row. Oh, so you feel the full moon energy earlier? Yeah, I do too. I typically start to feel it as well. And sometimes I don't even know what's going on. It's like a week or two before I'm like, oh, something's happening. I'm starting to feel something. So Yeah. So be on the lookout for that. And I would say, again, hold your tongue. There might also be some relationships coming to an end during these next 2 weeks. Some truths being revealed. So Sagittarius, full moon in Sagittarius is also about a time for shedding, a time to shed the things that don't serve us. And people say that a lot, and it seems like we've been hearing that a lot for like several years, but we really have the opportunity now to really shed the things that don't serve us anymore, and to really look at the habits that we've been indulging in. And I would say that if folks start to work on those habits, like this week or within the next 2 weeks, you will get a lot of universal support to what you're trying to do. What else? What else? What else? Folks working in the media, it's a good time for folks working in the media to start new projects. However, I would say pay close attention to detail, because we are, again, in Gemini season, and we know Geminis can be tricky. So I love, like I said, I have a Gemini moon. I love Geminis, but let's, so we want to just definitely read contracts with a fine tooth comb. Hey Maya, y'all are checking in on Friday night. What y'all doing? What's everybody doing tonight? Quadruple Cancer with Gemini rising, always an interesting time of year for me too. Do you feel like you have a lot of energy? I mean, Pamela, or do you feel like your energy is low? I'm interested to know that, because I mean, the minute we went into Gemini season, I was like, ew. I was so happy and so energized. So how are you feeling? So again, Blue, I know you're traveling. Other folks on here are traveling. So I would say give yourself extra time to get to the airport. I would say it's very low. I wonder, do you know how your B12 is? I would check your B12 if that's something you're into. I don't know how everybody reacts differently to supplements and things like that, so I don't know how your doctor feels about supplements and things like that, but I would check out that B12, your B12 levels. I lost my train of thought. Oh, give yourself extra time to get to the airport. You take that supplement every day. Are you taking a high dosage of it? I wonder if you need to step that bad boy up. Again, I don't know what it does to this. You might want to see if you can double up on it just till your energy starts. But again, I'm not, listen, I don't give doctorly advice. Check with your doctor. I just feel the vibes. Oh shoot, I just feel the vibes. I don't want to be giving doctorly advice on it, and folks be coming after me talking about Zoe said. You feel me. Yeah, so that's it. The sun is going down. It's beautiful. I'll probably hop off in a minute. Hey, Farah. I'm not talking about anything. I'm just, oh, thank you. I needed a change. First of all, the dye, for me dyeing my hair, dried my hair out so much. And my hairdresser was like, yeah, your hair cannot take dye. Your natural hair cannot take dye. So you need to stay away from that. So it was hecka damaged on this side. And so plus I just wanted to change. I just kind of got sick of the dreads. So I'm not quite ready to go full bald yet, but we'll see what happens come October. So, and plus I just wanted to change. Summer's here. And, am I starting to get bit up? So what y'all doing tonight? Y'all going out tonight? And is anybody going out? Doing anything fun? I'm just so glad it's still light out at 8:25. This is like glorious. I'm not doing anything fun because I have so much travel coming up that I am in the house. I have a new Reiki client coming tomorrow. A new Reiki student, I should say, young girl in college, ready to get her Reiki life together. So I'm excited about that. But other than that, I'm just in the house drinking wine. Thank you, Pamela. Right back at you. Light packing, sitting home, trying not to be agitated. Yeah, when the sun go, try not to be agitated. Why? Because you excited to go to New Orleans? You should meet my friend. I'm gonna hook y'all up. I introduced Stephanie Burns to her when I was in New Orleans a couple weeks ago, and now Stephanie has a standing day on her radio show on Tuesday. I think they're calling it Turn Tuesdays or something like that. But I'm going to introduce you to my girl, Kendra, if you don't already know each other. She's a good person to know. So I'll do that. But once the sun goes down, I'm going to go in the house and put some liquor on my altar. I'm going to do that. Other than that, I am in the crib having a low-key Friday night. People are just in the house. People aren't even outside on my street. So I think that's it. We talked about the moon. We talked about the moon energy. We talked about the difference between, I'm so happy that see, this is that Gemini moon in me, jumping from conversation to conversation. But I'm so happy that the cats across the street have come back. We used to, hey Valentine, we used to have a delicious coven of cats on this street. Like we had I don't know, 12 cats with the man across the street, and they just kept the street, they held it down, no vermin, nothing. And then all of a sudden the cats disappeared. I don't know where the cats went, but I have my suspicions that it had to do with the gentrification on my block and the new people that moved next door. But the cats disappeared. But now the cats are coming back. No, it's not New Orleans trip been going on. I've been on the edge, got some help with addressing my inner child. But after that, I'm I agree, I should be mad. I know that's right. So what are you doing to move through that anger piece? Because we talked about we need to voice that shit, but then how to move through it. And then but look at those cats. They're so cute. But that other piece is, that inner child has stages. So which inner child are we talking about? Because when stuff comes up for me now, I'm is this the 7-year-old self? Is this the 12-year-old self? Is this the 21-year-old self? And so I've started to track when I start to feel away. I start to track what part of my existence is being triggered. I hate that word. I wish we would come up. Activated. What part of my experience is being activated, and then I address it accordingly. Because obviously you're going to approach a 7-year-old differently than you would approach a 20-year-old. This one was 1 year old. Yeah. People poison the cat sometimes without knowing, I know. I think that's what happened, Valentine. I have my suspicions, but like I said, the cats are coming back. I think we're up to 4, so I'm happy because I'm a cat lady. So I'm happy that the cats are back, and they're all different colors. One of them is black, one of them is gray and white, one of them is a darker, maybe a calico. Yes, come on, activate it, right? That's what I'm talking about. See, that's why I really, when I do this keynote in Florida in a couple weeks, I really want to turn it out. I want to give folks some shit to think about. from reframing this language to all of that stuff. So yeah, so activated instead of triggered. I'm also going to talk about using magic as a method of healing. Hey Tracy, is that my cousin? Who that? Tracy Green. Who are you, Tracy Green? Is that my cousin? Please identify yourself. You know, we got people on Facebook and we're not always clear about who they are. But anyway, yeah, so I really want to bring these folks in Florida some great information, give them some things to think about. So the theme of my talk is why Black women in particular do not report sexual assault, because it's a sexual assault conference. So, and how do we move to healing? Again, how do we move to that place of healing? So I'm going to be talking about the arts as a method of healing, and magic, but I'm probably not going to call it magic. I'm probably going to have to call it something else. Hey, Guyana, can you revisit your moon analysis? Gosh, what was I talking about? Oh, it wasn't really that deep. I was just talking about the full moon energy and the energy of Sagittarius, and which with it being fire energy. And so folks that are traveling and things like, see, talk about people being activated and agitated. Full moon is Sagittarius. Why did they just stop in the middle of my street to argue? You hear? You hear? You right. It ain't always about you. You right. I feel like that's the ancestors. That's right. She right. Activism through art. Yeah. So I'm going to be talking about that. I'm going to be talking about sort of how I used storytelling as a method to heal from sexual assault. Now, folks, the sun is starting to go down. Folks are starting to smoke their little weed. They're starting to get crunk. So thank you for the hearts. Yeah, my neighbors are starting to get crunk. So isn't it interesting? We're talking about the moon. We're talking about activation and all that shit. And then somebody literally stopped their car in front of my house and they were arguing in the car. And they were like, it's not about you. Now that is something. So Blue, you definitely have heard me talk about that. And anybody who's been on my talks or whatever, that is an important part of healing. Also, that might have been a message from the ancestors. Because sometimes we get shit. I think they didn't drop some shit on me, or it's the wine. But sometimes we get stuck in that trauma because we think it's about us, right? We think that we did something wrong at 2 or 3 or 4. Because most of the time the people in our lives and society has somehow transmitted to us that we are wrong, right? They've telegraphed that message to us that we're wrong. Or sometimes because of the circumstances of our conception, be it, daddy had another family around the corner or something while he impregnated mama, so he couldn't marry mama. He couldn't claim you. And of course, everything that happens to the mother gets transmitted down into that fetus. And so you're cooking in all of that, you were wrong, right? And so then you come out into the world. And if you're a person of color, of course, society co-signs on, yes, of course you're wrong. And then if you come in the wrong body or what's perceived as the wrong gender, then you're really, really, really wrong, right? And so then when the trauma happens, it gets stuck in your cells, in your auric field, in your whole being. And your whole being is a being of, I am wrong. It's about me. There's something wrong with me. So when the sexual assault or the whatever happens to you, it's very hard to heal because you have this, you're carrying around this energy of I am wrong. It's about me. When really, as my CEO reminded me last night, you know, my stance is, you know, it happens to everybody. Like at this point, I'm like shocked when somebody is not sexually assaulted. I'm like, everybody's been assaulted at this point, as far as I'm concerned. Who hasn't been molested? Who hasn't been touched? Who hasn't been, I mean, that's like, that's the energy of this planet. Like that's what we do here. Like, stop tripping. It's not about you. It's not personal. See, I think that might be what I be talking. I think that might be what I talk about with these people. One more glass of wine. It's going to be lit. It's going to be lit. I was upstairs roasting my little Brussels sprouts. And I was like, ancestors, what are we going to say to these people? Hey, Amy, what am I going to say to these people? What's the message? What's the message? And they was like, get your wine, go outside. And now I feel like I got my message. It's not about you. Stop tripping. Everybody been molested. It's not that serious. I'm not going to say it's not that serious. It's serious. I don't want to, what's the word? Dismiss people's experiences and all of that. We have to validate people's experiences and all of that. But that is the energy of this planet. Okay? This planet thrives off of the Me Too. Okay? This planet thrives off of domination and subjugation. Now, I don't know if I could say that in Naples, Florida. I could say that to y'all because you know me. I might have to like make it, you know, more palatable for the folks. But yes. And so for me, so when I'm dealing with folks, when folks come and I have clients or I have students or whatever, and for those of you that know that I do channel, and when the messages come through or whatever, and the message is you are not wrong, it's not about you, it's not personal. See, we think that because it happened to us, right? Because the attack happened to us, our bodies. So of course it feels very personal because it's a personal attack. But from an energetic standpoint, once we understand that so much of that is the energy of this planet, it is about domination, subjugation. We've already said that. And then you understand that it's happened to most people, as we see with the, you know, every day somebody is coming out for like drugging people, and I'm not even going into that. But so people can kind of wrap their heads around it and get to the healing process, because the soul cannot be touched. The body can be touched, but the soul cannot be touched. The soul is divine. The soul is God on earth. The soul is God, universal energy. And so surely that can not be touched by people, right? So where we feel the trauma and where the trauma lives, I'm going to get to that part about the cycles. Where that trauma lives is in your subconscious. We experience everything through our subconscious, especially once you start looking at the holographic universe stuff. We experience life through our subconscious and through our chakras in so many ways. So when you talk about cycles, we could talk about trauma being transmitted through cellular memory. You know, they have the tests now, epigenetics, etc., that talk about how trauma can be sent through a bloodline. We know this from the studies that they did with Holocaust survivors. That trauma is stored in the cells and gets passed down through the bloodline. Our ancestors called it generational curses, but I don't believe in curses, so I don't use that language. I prefer to talk about science and epigenetics, right? So that gets to the cycles piece, okay? So if you think about, and actually, I think G might have something electronically, Dr. G. She might have some information about the generations and how the experiences of our ancestors live in us. But we don't. But we know that we don't have to. We don't have to go into all that. But that's the cycles piece, right? Because it's scientific. So you're not just you. I am not just me. I am the sum total of every ancestors whose blood runs through me. And also the environment that they were subjected to. Think about the energy that was in the food that they were given, right? I'm talking about trauma. So I'm just going to talk about the transatlantic slave trade real quick because it's a Friday night, and why not? It's a nice light subject. So if you're on a plantation and you are given scraps, the worst part of the pig, the tails, the feet, the ears, the intestines, the stomach, because you're not worthy of good food. We know that there were some plantations where people were not even allowed to have vegetables themselves, the slaves. They were not allowed to have vegetables. And then I found out that's so interesting about Haiti and the Haitian. I'm skipping around, pardon. But so I have a friend, and the day after New Year's, she invites us over for soup jumeau. And so this year we were like, what is the story of like this soup? And what she said was that that I guess the people that were in Haiti before they overturned the colonizers, they were not allowed to have vegetables. And so once they ran them folk out of Haiti, the women went and got all the vegetables they could, and they made this soup, and they made this soup jumeau. So I didn't lose my train of thought. This computer is buffering. So if you are given the worst of everything, we know that goes into your cells. We know that goes into your genetic memory. And then that's going to go into the children that you birth, and their children's children, and their children's 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 children. And then that turns up as what? Diabetes, heart disease, everything else that we experience as people of color in this land. But we've also had cycles of peace. I'd love to explore that more. Tell me what you mean about those cycles of peace. The peace that we created for ourselves. Is that what you're talking about? The peace that we created in our communities and in our churches and all of those things? Because I can definitely get down with that. Many things are true at once. I can get down with that, but I'd love for you to put in the chat what you mean by cycles of peace. Lisa Lynn Jacobs, what you up to? Everybody, see, we need to be partying on a Friday night. We need to say all my favorite people live in different places. But Lisa Lynn, I'll see you Sunday. So let me stop tripping. Will you be in Kansas too? Are you going from Minneapolis to Kansas as well? Oh yeah, that's what you were talking about for the cycles of peace. Yeah. We've created our peace. I mean, we had to. We had to. Thank God. Right? Thank God for that. It's relatively peaceful now. The answer. Oh no, Kansas City. Oh, okay. All right. Well, I'll see you in Minneapolis. I wish we had a rental car so I could go back to Prince's house. Listen, I went to Prince's house a few months after he passed and dug up some dirt. and put it on my altar. I would love to go back to Prince's house and give something back. Is that another Caribbean African diaspora thing? What, digging up the dirt? Well, I wanted to, and it's so funny because my mother named my cat Prince after Prince, which is hilarious. Like, she did it just because he was small. She was like, oh, he's small, I think I'll name him Prince. She's not even like a Prince fan like that. She literally just named my cat Prince because he was small and she felt like Prince was small. And my cat one day was eating the dirt because he loves my altar. He was eating Prince's dirt. And I was like, we're not going to have that. But anyway, it probably was an African thing. I don't think it was a Caribbean thing because my Caribbean relatives don't get down with the shit I'm into. My Caribbean relatives definitely no. They ain't got no. They ain't messing with no Duppies. They ain't setting up no altars. Not my people. Now, maybe some of them over there in Jamaica, like on the island that I don't know, maybe they're doing something. But these American Jamaican relatives of mine, no, ma'am, they're not. They're not messing around with no Obeah business. No. So, yeah. So when I went to Minnesota, I felt like one, and it was so beautiful to see the people there, but I also wanted to connect to that. Oh, I see. Yes. The Kansas City is the ABC meeting. Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. You said don't get down with no Obeah. I know you don't get down with no Obeah. I know. And Art, my relative just joined on just now. I know. They don't be playing around with no Obeah. Ain't nobody trying to play around with no Obeah, no Duppies and all of that stuff. And yet Drake comes out with a Duppy freestyle. I was like, okay, Drake, right. Like, okay. But anyway, I wanted to connect to the energy of Prince. I wanted to, I just wanted to connect to his energy. You were talking about my people? Radia, we was just talking on text, and here you are, my love. Are you in Brooklyn? We were just texting. Colonized Anglicans. Yeah, I mean, everybody's colonized. I mean, where your gold tooth at. So I have to step up a grade for those gold teeth. Because that first brand of gold teeth, I really was like a tester. I really was just testing it to see if, I wonder why this is buffering like this. This is so weird. Is it connected to, yeah, it is connected to my house. I don't know why it's buffering like that. So that first, yo, my neighbors are getting crunk now. I love it. Why aren't they playing any music though? So maybe I should stop moving and maybe the computer will stop buffering. So my gold teeth. So I got the lowest carat because I just was testing them to see if I really, really like them. And I really, really like them. So now the next time I go to Atlanta, which I don't know when that's going to be, I'm going to get a higher carat of gold teeth. I don't know anybody here in New York that does gold teeth. So I'll wait till I go back to the dirty. So colonized Anglicans, yes, we're all colonized. Some of us are working on decolonizing our minds. Some of us are happily colonized. It is what it is. Hey, Felicia. So it's getting dark. I'm probably going to go in the house and get another glass of wine because I'm grown and I can do that. Radia, what you doing tonight? They look cute. I'm about to get some too. Gold teeth, magic woman. Listen, I love my gold teeth. I am so happy with them. I don't like those ones. They have all different ones. Like they have some that like drip, but I'm not trying to like come through dripping like that. That looks weird. I shouldn't say that. Yeah. So I'm gonna get a higher grade. You ain't doing nothing? Yeah. It's a shame to be in New York City on a nice night and we are in the house. What is up with that? What is up with that? But tomorrow I'm going to the Brooklyn Museum. Yeah, lots of people have them that drip. Actually, my friend has some that drip and they look really cute. But that's not for me. I think Jada Pinkett's have some that drip too. I think that she said her kids bought her some for her birthday that drip. But they're not for me. Girl, you're old. Child, whatever. You are younger than me. Stop tripping. You are so much younger than me. But anyway, look at how that sun went down. Look at how that sun went down. So before I go, I want to plug another woman online. Her name is Amber Khan, and she does monthly horoscopes for folks that are into that sort of thing, called The Quietest Revolution. She's phenomenal. I love her. I listened to the Libra reading last night, and it was like Libra rest, which was so funny. The past couple of months, it hasn't been that on point for me because she's been doing a lot of relationship stuff, and I'm single, so I'm like, I don't know who you're talking about, sis. Ain't nobody lying to me. Like, apparently there's a whole bunch of Libras out here being lied to by their partners, and I'm like, I can't relate. That was like 2 years ago, or maybe last year. My bad. But ain't nobody lying to me right now. So I hopped off of her site, but her June reading was so good, man, because she was talking about how Libras just go, 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 and how the cardinal energy is that of going, but that also how Libras can hide behind work and being and responsibility, and how we don't take care of ourselves. I mean, she had this one line, and I was like, oh my God, you're speaking my life. Like sometimes she just like speaks my life, and I'll just like call her out on Twitter, and she just be like, please stop speaking my life, because she was like, she did this reading on the beach in Denmark. And she's a Gemini. She's just like, I love her. I'm like, oh my God, I need a friend like that. But I feel like G is like her, even though G's a Pisces. But G has that same way of like being able to pull me out of like, no, I must be responsible. G is like, no, just come to Ecuador and let's do mushrooms. And I'm like, okay. But not many people can pull me out like that. But G definitely can. So anyway, so Amber is like that. And so she starts the reading and she's like, just take deep breaths and watch the sunset. And she literally like just said nothing for the first couple of minutes. She just was like, just breathe, Libra, just breathe. And then she had this whole thing where she was like, you need to rest. And she was like, and Libra will be like, but no, I can't rest because I have this project that's due and my best friend's baby needs to be taken to the doctor and I have to go do this training and I've got to be here by 8 o'clock and I've got to be there so I don't have time to rest. And I was like, oh my God, like she's speaking my life right now. And then the last couple of minutes of the video, she just literally made us watch the sunset. Like, she stopped the reading and she was like, just watch the sunset. And I was getting so aggravated. Because I was doing something else when I should have been just like still watching the video. But it was like, oh, let me wash my face and let me take care of my skin. Let me do something else while I am watching the sunset. So she's so clever that she goes on live. And she was like, so she starts being on live while the sunset is happening. And she's low-key like talking about Libras. And she was like, yeah, I decided to go on live because this will distract them and this will make them happy because they're getting frustrated because the sun is taking so long to set. And I was like, stop speaking my life. Because I was like, why is the sun taking so long to set? Like, why is the sun taking so long to set, right? So she had this whole thing where she was like, if you're having problems with how long the sun is taking to set, you need to ask yourself what that's about. And I literally was like, I would wash my face, and then I would come back. I'd be like, okay, the sun still hasn't set. Like, when is the sun gonna freaking set? So I say all that to say that Amber is thebomb.com. And y'all should check her out on YouTube. It's The Quietest Revolution. Walk and watch the flowers bloom. I know. I love me and Dr. G together as well. You got to go. I'll check you next time. Keep the movement moving. I will keep the movement moving. I know, Lisa Lynn, but I don't know why we have such a short... Because we definitely... Well, I won't say we. I will say I definitely have moments where I'm just like walking down my block and I'm like taking in the trees and the beauty of the, like, I definitely have those moments. But I also have the moments of, why is the sun taking so long to set? Even when we were doing sun eating on the beach, Blue, because what she was taking us through was sun eating, which was so funny because we did that in Ecuador. So I didn't feel impatient when we were sun eating on the beach, maybe because I low-key was working the retreat. And so within the context of what was happening, maybe I felt like it was okay. I don't know. It's interesting. We definitely need to rest. But when we're hyped, though, I know that's the thing about Libras, man. We have like a crazy, like, go to sleep at 1 o'clock, wake up at 9 a.m. and it's like ready to get it crunk. It's really the stamina. We have so much stamina. But the thing is, and she talked about this too, we have to be careful of our kidneys, especially. And she also talked about us overthinking. So even if we're not actively doing something, that constant overthinking also can trigger, it can weigh on our kidneys and things like that. So because the lower back and the kidneys is the weak point for Libras. And a lot of that kidney weakening is a direct result of that overthinking and just constantly, sending those chemicals to the brain. And after a while, it can tax the liver. So we cannot be stopped. No, it's true. We can't. Unless it's like has to do with relationships, but that's another thing. But anyway, y'all, so check her out. And if y'all are in Florida, I don't know if anybody on here or anybody who watches this is going to come to the Florida Coalition Against Sexual Violence Conference. I'll be keynoting. I don't know what day. Maybe the 13th or the 14th. I don't know. But I'll figure that out. And I'll do some kind of live stream at some point from Florida. And we'll be in Minneapolis and Kansas this week. But I don't know if I'll be live streaming from there because I don't know what's really going to be popping. Maybe I'll be out in the street. I don't know. Anyway, y'all. Love y'all. Thanks for joining in. Oh, you said those moments are few and far between. They do happen, though. Well, Lisa Lynn, and your birthday's right around mine, right? Your birthday's like 2 days before mine. Well, you might want to, is that, oh no, that's not the moon. You might want to bring more of those days in. Hey, Brenda, you popping on and I'm popping off. Yes, honey, I will see you Sunday. I'm excited. Oh, 10:18. Oh, okay, so you're after me. Oh, wow. Oh, what? Oh, wow. So you're towards the end. So you're almost into Scorpio land. Hmm. Interesting. Love to you, honey. And yeah, we'll see what happens with that keynote. We'll see. Thank y'all for coming online with me. I know. Listen, that was just one glass of red wine. I'm gonna go have another one and probably watch Netflix. Boring. But anyway, I'll talk to y'all later. Oh my God, Jenny Pace. Oh, you were supposed to be a Scorpio? Okay. Yeah. That's interesting. Red wine. Yes. Jenny Pace, I will be in Florida. Are you still in Florida? I'll be I'm keynoting at FCASV. So, oh, but you ain't doing the work anymore anyway though, right? So that's of no interest. But congratulations on the baby. I haven't talked to you in years. I hope you're doing well. Your baby is probably more than a baby now though, right? Anyway, y'all, I'm gonna go have another glass of wine. It's dark. All I can see is the reflection in my glasses. So love y'all. Have a beautiful weekend. And I'll see you later. Bye.